Flooders like to point out some stupid things. I'm just gonna be honest. They take what's on the surface and they like to go with it. And like I mentioned before, I feel as though a lot of these people are flooding. A lot of these projects are people that bought the top of the mountain and they got wrecked in the top of the bull market. So one of the things brought up with Jasmy a lot of times is, oh, I don't see any pictures of or video of their offices. I think it's just a bunch of malarkey. This is, like people say it's a scam, it's a rug pull. Well, here's Zen Tech, and I do appreciate him. I'm gonna give him a follow. He says, here's another pic he took of the Jasmy office a few weeks ago. I'm going to take more of a deeper dive into Zen Tech. I'm going to go back into his particular tweets and so on and see if I can get a whole collection of the pictures. Maybe he has video and so on, because if he visited there, hopefully he took some video. But if he didn't, that's okay. But I'm going to do a video to show that, because whenever I could squash FUD, especially for Jasmy, I'm going to do it. Because the last time I did, oh man, I was expecting a lot of, backlash from the flooders. It was absolute crickets. Crickets Talk Now, starring Maximus. Anyway, so here's another pic I took at the Jasmy office a few weeks ago. Not me, him, obviously. This pic was taken from the hallways as you enter inside. And, as the saying goes, especially in gaming, right? Screenshots or it didn't happen, noob, right? Well, screenshots or didn't happen. It did happen. Here's a particular picture, a screenshot. I saw another particular one where I had the Jasmy thing on there and so on. It's cool stuff. I thought I'd share it with you guys, right? That's the only one I have at the moment. We'll get some more for you guys. But here is some of the most recent news in regards to Jasmy. Now, I get it. Some people say that this is speculation, but a lot of times when it comes to speculation, it leads to other things. This is juicy. And the reason why I feel as though that this could be really, really juicy is this. Everybody knows about Pokemon, right? I never got into Pokemon. I remember when I first heard about it, I think I was a senior in high school. It was kind of like one of those things. It was like, I guess you could say it was after my time. Some things before people's time. This was more like after my time. I realized it's huge. Kids love it. There's people younger than me. Pokemon's their thing. Hey, I have nothing against Pokemon. But what about the Jasmy connection, right? So it says Pokemon on the blockchain. Now, I'm going to tell you guys flat out. There's going to have an outline here. I don't want you to FOMO in, all right? Not financial advice. But my God, if there really is something solid here, this could be the mother lode of all of it. Everything that we talked about here. Don't get me wrong. I love quant. I love it all. And I'm into all these things. But let's face it. If Jasmy gets something solid for Pokemon, whoever said recently faces will melt, oh my gosh, it'll be more than faces will melting. You will literally look like that guy from Indiana Jones. Some of those, when the Nazis saw, the spirit came out of the Ark of the Covenant and melt all their faces. Yeah, it'll be like a moment like that. All right, let's get into it. The Pokemon Company, a joint venture between publisher Nintendo and game developers Game Freak and Creatures, posted a listing for a corporate development principal, a role that would advise the company's leadership on strategy and explore new innovations. Listen to this. Smash the like if you haven't done so already. And the firm is looking for someone who is already entrenched within the Web3 world. Specifically, the firm is looking for someone with deep knowledge and understanding of Web3, including blockchain technologies and NFTs. Now, let's stop there for a moment. You know where I'm going with this. You better believe you know where I'm going with this. When it comes to Pokemon, they're trading cards, right? Got to catch them all. My God, this will be the perfect, they call it the perfect storm of what's coming, but a good one, right? Stay with me. So technology is an NFT and or metaverse, but it wants someone who's already immersed in the space, asking for applicants that are deeply connected to a network of investors and entrepreneurs in the technology sectors above, Web3, metaverse, and so on. Now, in regards to Jasmy, Jasmy PDL offers data security and sovereignty. How do we know that? If you don't know about it already, take a look into my deep dive. In the thumbnail, in the recorded, it talks about Jasmy data democratization. We love to provide you guys research. This is not just news here at Crypto Talk Now. Crypto news, education, and even entertainment and AI, right? So look at this. Jasmy Grant, along with Hara, we know about him, right? He's the CFO of Jasmy's management. Let's make the Pokemon partnership a reality. And of course, some other people mention this. There's a thing in regards to Decrypt. I'll pull that up in a second, but I want to give credit where credit's due on some of the other guys who mentioned this a while back. So shout out to this guy, Grabs by Gordy. He originally apparently was talking about this a few days ago on March 12th. And again, this popped up last night, I believe. Where were we on the 16th? We're 17th. Sorry. So this came up again on the 16th, late last night after my long show with you guys. I saw this and I was like, oh God, I'm going to drop the bombshell tomorrow. And then some people are like, no, it's just speculative. Just hear me out. So it says Pokemon firm is looking for someone, of course, with deep knowledge, understanding Web3, but it wants somebody who's already immersed in the space, asking for applicants that are, just that. And look at what it says here with this particular follow-up. So I'm going to expand this a little bit more. Quote, deeply connected to a network of investors and entrepreneurs. This is Jasmy in a nutshell, right? It is them in a nutshell. It totally is them in a nutshell. Now, if you're new to all this, understand this. Jasmy, Japan, right? All this would make sense. And I think as though if they can make these connections and get to talking to Nintendo and so on, maybe Nintendo has already thought about this, right? But maybe Nintendo has took a step back and said, look, we've had all these banning, with regulations and so on for a country. We can't get into this yet. But again, Jasmy stands out because they're the first of its kind, just like Bitcoin stands out being the first of its kind, right? So for Japan itself, Jasmy is huge because this is how they get the label of Bitcoin in Japan. Now, let's get into this whole thing in regards to Decrypt here in a bit, but look at this particular roadmap, right? Understand that we already came out with the fan token, right? The Sagan Tosu fan token. That particular fan token is another utility layer for Jasmy, and they already have like NFTs for that particular fan token. It's a soccer team. I don't remember the exact city in Japan, but that's beyond the point. Understand this: we covered Chili's multiple times. Those are fan tokens, right? But can you have something like Pokemon Mix? Absolutely. It's just a different mechanism. It's the same mechanism, I should say, but a different layer or a different product. What product? Pokemon, right? So I'm gonna go further into it. I mean, obviously, we all know about Pokemon. Let's pull up this article from Decrypt real quick, and let me see where we're at. There we go. I'm sure this tab is instead. This was posted, of course, on March 10th, right? And again, some people say this is a stretch. I don't think so. I don't really think so. I think something could very well come out with this, and you better believe I will love to report on it. So it says, got to catch NFTs. Again, think about the terminology being listed here. Got to catch NFTs. The Pokemon company is hiring a Web3 expert. Ooh. Could it very well be Jasmy? It might not be. It might not be. But also understand this. When it comes to blockchain technology, is it just one size fits all? If we're talking about interoperability, is it one size fits all? No, it is not one size fits all. As we know, when it comes to building an ecosystem, projects have multiple partnerships. So you may very well see another big player come into Pokemon, but you also may see another player in that as well, which could be Jasmy. That's what I want you guys to follow here. So it says the company behind the massively popular Nintendo video game series could be exploring Web3 moves based on a new job listing. What a time for you guys to basically tune into our show. Smash the like if you haven't done so. Pokemon on blockchain, guys. I want to get more in the comments. I swear to God, I will. I always appreciate you guys. But this is something that we really, really need to get into for just a moment because, I mean, this is big, huge potential for Jasmy. Are you not feeling bullish already? I know I am. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the possibility with Pokemon. All right. So, yeah, we've seen other developers try to bring the video game franchise monster battling concept to life in Web3 with some serious misfires along the way. Very true. But the Pokemon company itself hasn't made any moves yet. And that, again, is one of the key things. However, that could be changing according to job listing. So let's find out more about this job listing. So it says Pokemon Company, a joint venture between Nintendo and game developers Game Freak and Creatures, posted a listing for corporate development principal, a role that would advise companies' leadership on strategy and explore new innovations. And the firm is looking for someone who's already, of course, entrenched in Web3 world. Specifically, the firm is looking for someone with deep knowledge, like we mentioned, in Web3, blockchain technologies, of course, NFTs, and it's got to be that. It's got to be a big focus on NFTs because, again, think about the Pokemon trading game. That makes sense. But it wants someone who is already immersed, right, and has a deep connection, like we mentioned before. The listing does not give a clear sense of potential moves that the Pokemon Company could make in Web3, whether it's NFTs or blockchain-based game, but Decrypt, like they reported here, reached out to the company for comment on potential Web3 ambitions, but did not immediately hear back, probably because, you know what, you're negotiating. And as we know, when it comes to negotiating, there is, of course, the whole thing of are they going to sign NDAs and so on. So there's more to it in regards to this. And I want people to also know, like it says right here, the corporate development principal will develop an internal innovation challenge, for example, and explore potential partnerships. Not one partnership, partnerships, just like I just literally mentioned to you before we got more into this. It's not that it's one size, one size fits all or whatever, right? Or we could just only have one partnerships. And where they're stationed in Japan, this is a huge opportunity for Jasmy. And of course, we could get more into this. I think I'll read this last part. If you knew, Pixelmon, the most famous unofficial example, sold $70 million worth of NFTs early last year before revealing their artwork. And my point is also this, that, like it says right here, the next phase of NFT adoption will come from brands you love in your everyday life. Who doesn't know about Pokemon? And who, if you got kids, you understand that when it comes to Pokemon, right, it is in our everyday life. So, but we're going to continuously follow this. But man, if that bombshell gets dropped, that in itself could cause Jasmy to just fly off the hinges, right? Go to the moon and beyond.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.